elected officials, to the head of the armed forces, ambassador, officers general, officers, sub-officers, mariners, soldiers, civilians. It is a great honor for me to be here with you all today on the eve of Christmas, here in the middle of the desert of the United Arab Emirates. As we approach the end of the year, we share our thoughts for those who fell in the field throughout the year. Jimmy Gosselin from the 7th Battalion of the Alpine Forces who fell during the ARPI mission in Guyana. To the head of the armed forces, I would like to express our deepest gratitude on behalf of the French nation for the service. And our thoughts go out to your families during this festive season. Because every day you fight, you serve, and you fall. And through you, the living, and through your commitment, we see the path forward to hope, a hope that we share with you. But our thoughts also go out to the numerous men and women who were wounded, those wounded bodies that are the marks of the trials that you face. And once again, the nation is by your side and is thankful. I would like to thank all of the support that we have received from the various ministries, for the not-for-profit organizations, for veterans, who continue to honor you and to honor the service that you give to our nation. We stand between the fallen, the wounded, their families. There is no great nation without such forces by our side. And that is why ever since Louis XIV, the head of the state, is the protector of those men and women who go through the invalids, who go through our military schools, who go to serve our nation. I would like to also share our deepest gratitude for all of you here today who are far from France's borders, who are far from your loved ones, and who are serving for the French forces in the United Arab Emirates, either for long-term postings or short-term postings. You are here. And I would like to congratulate all those who were part of our efforts here. And through you, I am thanking all of our naval forces, air forces, armed forces on the ground, civilian forces, from our reservists, from our ministries. I would like to acknowledge all of the work that you have done, for everything that you have done in our foreign operations, in our national operations, for our sentinel missions, for our forward postings, all taking action on the eve of Christmas. I know that with the determination of each and every one of you, that you pay great tribute, and that you strive for all of these operations to be a success. So on behalf of the nation, we are ever thankful. Here, in this region of the world, it is the crossroads of many issues: security issues, terrorist issues, geopolitical tensions, rivalries, but also notions of security. Admiral, from our most easily forward posting, the mission of the men and women under your command is one which covers the Suez Canal right through to Australia, through the Middle East, with the FFAU. We are a stabilizing force, stability for French citizens abroad and European citizens located in the entire region, as was seen with the evacuation operation in Sudan, which you carried out in April 2023. Stability, thanks to work with our allies to fight against terrorism, with our Shamal operation in Iraq and Syria. Stability through all of the oceans and seas for which you provide assistance for the merchant navy to provide safe passage for all ships in the region. Through our Aspides operation, we can ensure the merchant navy safely traveling through the region. For Bab el-Mandeb, the survival of numerous sailors, to the efforts to fight oil spills as we saw in 2024. This is just a few examples of all that you have done. Since the 7th of October massacre in Israel, with our frigates, with our leading ships, with our Mirage fighters, with efforts coming out of Djibouti, you have found successful ways to stave off further threats following on from this conflict. Numerous escorts, numerous sailors' lives saved, numerous drones and missiles intercepted. Stability in the Indian Ocean as well, where you fight against weapons trafficking. You have been fighting against the Houthi uprising, drug trafficking, with some 17 tons of drugs seized this year alone. This is thanks to the constant commitment of our armed forces. In a time where predators are rife, we need to resist, we need to show our strength on land and at sea. And that is why, following the two previous military budgets and having looked into the finest details of those budgets, we have made a decision to give France yet another aircraft carrier. With the vast budget that is needed, we have made key decisions just this week. Our Minister for the Armed Forces, I would like to thank you. Having put in such fine work along with the heads of staff of the armed forces, the CGA, CEA, and many other industrial partners. This is a vast program which is going to trickle out into our economy with some 800 small businesses and enterprises who are going to work on building this vessel. I will ensure that this is there for our companies, and in coming February I will be there to meet with representatives of France's heavy industry. This aircraft carrier will be a showcase of our power, of our industrial power, technical power, of our power to ensure freedom and liberty out on the open seas. Stability also for our strategic partners, the United Arab Emirates, with whom we have a great bond of trust. France here is the only foreign nation where our armed forces are present with their families, who are, at every moment, even in the latest events that took place in the peninsula, we are here. What a great show of trust. A trust that we have with our hosting countries. This mutual trust is one which is written down in our agreements between France and the UAE. And we have the assistance clause which we can rely upon. And as such, in 2022, when Abu Dhabi was being targeted by drone attacks and missiles from Houthi representatives, France responded immediately with its Al-Dhafra air base and Rafale fighter jets. Last June, during the 12-day war, the FFEAU once again responded swiftly to support our Emirati and Qatari partners with additional air support. And this is trust that is ever present and evident, in fact, on the ground, in times of hardship. Emirati friends know that they can count upon France when they need, and that means they can count upon you, your ability to stand by the side and face off the threats that come their way.
aussi par le
This mutual
déploiement de
trust
matériel
is also
et
seen
d'équipements haut de
in
gamme.
additional equipment,
Frégates de premier
material,
rang, chasseurs Rafale, Charles Leclerc,
ships,
canons César. Et
Caesar
en décembre
cannons,
2025, notre présence s'est renforcée
tanks,
avec la mise en place d'une compagnie
and we
d'infanterie
have further
permanente
ramped up a
et d'un
permanent
A400M à Abu Dhabi.
infantry battalion in Abu Dhabi.
Grâce à l'action réactive et
Thanks to
déterminée
the
des
response
FFEAU,
of the
la
FFEAU,
France dispose d'une
France
position
now
unique au
has a
Moyen-Orient.
unique position in the Middle
Grâce
East.
à vous.
This is
Elle
thanks
est
to
reconnue
you.
comme un partenaire
It
fiable,
is now seen as a reliable,
fidèle.
credible, loyal partner.
Cette stabilité, cette confiance, les
This
FFEAU
stability and this
l'entretiennent
trust
au
is
quotidien
something
par
which
des
you are
actions de
constantly
coopération,
underpinning day to
d'entraînement
day
avec
with
le
all of the
camarade
training
aérien.
work that you are
Et 2025
embarking
a
upon
été
with our
marqué par des avancées majeures dans le
UAE
domaine.
partners.
Le récent exercice
The
interarmée
recent
quadriennal Gulf
inter-army
25,
exercise,
qui s'est tenu aux
the Gulf
Émirats,
25, which
a
was
été
organized in the
une
Emirates,
belle
was a
démonstration
fantastic
de votre
demonstration
capacité
of
à
your
mettre en place un
ability
état-major
to
binational
implement
et
a
interarmé
dual
pour faire
national
opérer
inter-armed
côte à côte les trois composantes
force
françaises et émiriennes sur terre, dans les mers
with
et dans
forces
les airs.
on land, at sea, and in the air.
En Irak, la création d'une
In
nouvelle
Iraq,
emprise française sur le camp de Taji
the new
permet de
stronghold
continuer les
in the
formations
Tanjib
de bataillons
camp
de
gives
l'armée
us the
de terre
ability to
irakienne sous le commandement
further
tactique
train
du 5e
Iraqi
cuir
battalions
et d'aider l'Irak à recouvrer sa pleine souveraineté
and give Iraq full
et assurer
sovereignty
seul sa
and
sécurité.
the power to ensure its safety and security
Les actions de
alone.
coopération militaire régionale sont
Through
essentielles
regional
pour nos
military
partenaires.
cooperation, we can
Elles
underpin
sont
further
déterminantes
partnerships.
pour notre
It
stratégie
is
d'accès
essential for
pour notre
our
influence dans la
own
région.
strategy to have access and influence in the
Les
region.
EAU sont ainsi un partenaire de
United
premier
Arab
plan dans le
Emirates
domaine de
are a
l'armement,
leading partner
puisqu'ils
when
ont
it
commandé
comes
80
to
Rafales en
armament,
avril 2022.
with some
Et
80
l'année
Rafale fighter
2025
jets
marque
ordered
la
in
sortie de
2022,
production du premier Rafale
and we have the
et le
first
début de la campagne d'essai.
of them
Les EAU
leading
sont aussi le
facilities
premier client
ready
de la
for
France au
delivery.
Moyen-Orient. Plus de
It is
600
one
entreprises
of
françaises
our
sont
leading
implantées.
investors,
De riches coopérations ont
with some
été nouées dans les
260
domaines
key
énergétiques,
partnerships,
technologiques,
industrial
de
partnerships,
l'innovation, de
technological
la santé, de
partnerships,
l'éducation,
but also
avec l'implantation de
heading
la
into the
Sorbonne,
innovation sphere, the health
mais
sphere,
aussi dans le
with
domaine de la
partnerships with the
culture,
Sorbonne University, but
grâce au
also in
Louvre
terms
Abu
of
Dhabi.
culture.
Notre dialogue stratégique
Our
est
strategic
riche,
dialogue
diversifié.
is
Notre
vast,
coopération stratégique
diversified,
est tournée vers l'avenir avec les
one focused on the
co-investissements
future,
majeurs dans
with joint
l'intelligence
investment in
artificielle.
artificial intelligence.
Et vous en êtes les visages,
And you are
les
the
ambassadeurs à votre
face
manière.
of that investment, our
On se
ambassadors,
vient d'amitié et de confiance
ambassadors
entre nos deux pays.
of the bonds of trust and
Oui.
friendship between our two nations.
Nos compatriotes le savent. La situation
Yes,
internationale
French
pèse
men
sur
and
leur
women
quotidien.
know that the international
Avec le
context
conflit en
is one having a
Ukraine,
great impact on their
facteur de
daily lives,
déstabilisation
with the
en
war
Europe,
in Ukraine,
avec le
driving
conflit au
instability in
Proche-Orient,
Europe, with the conflict
au
in the
retentissement
Near East,
universel
also
et
having
source d'inquiétude
follow-on
particulière
effects
dans la région.
around the world, and especially throughout the
Ce
region.
qui se passe chez nous
What
trouve
happens
ses racines
at home
comme ses remèdes ailleurs.
finds its
Et
roots
les crises géopolitiques,
and its
les guerres,
solutions
les
elsewhere.
trafics forment un horizon de péril. Alors, sentinelle de l'idéal,
As
vous servez
a
d'ici
sentinel,
pour défendre la sauvegarde des
you
intérêts de la
ensure that
nation,
we can protect our
la
nation's
sécurité
interests,
de chaque Français.
the security
Et
of
nos
every
intérêts.
French man and woman,
À mes
and French
côtés,
interests.
vous êtes garant
By my
de
side,
celle-ci.
you stand as stewards
Alors, en cette fin d'année, ensemble,
of our
soyons
nation.
garants de ce qui nous rend fiers.
So remain
Un
stewards,
éclat
remain
français
guardians
brille ici,
of a French
pour
nation
l'universel.
which shines forth out into the world.
Je vous ai dit là combien notre place ici était importante.
Our place here
Combien
is an important
l'engagement de
place,
chaque jour des FFEAU
as can be seen with the
avait changé la
FFEAU
perception
forces.
de la France dans ce pays et dans toute la région. Et combien vos missions
Our importance
contribuaient à
throughout
la
the entire
stabilité, pas
region.
simplement de la
You
région.
ensure stability not just in the region, but
Je
in the
viens de vous
world.
dire aussi
So
l'ambition
let
qui est
me
la nôtre
just
de continuer
tell
d'avoir
you how we
l'armée
have the ambition
la
to
plus
ensure that we can
efficace
have the most
d'Europe,
effective
de nous doter des
armed
meilleurs
forces of
équipements,
all Europe,
de
the best
poursuivre
equipped
la
forces,
modernisation de celle-ci
most
dans les années
modern
qui viennent.
forces, and will continue to ensure that we remain modern
Cela
in
ne
coming
serait
years.
rien.
But
Sans
all
les
of
femmes
this
et les hommes
would
qui
be
font nos
for
armées.
naught if we didn't have you, the men and women that make up our armed forces.
Laissez-moi vous dire la fierté qui est la
Let
mienne
me share with you today just how proud
d'être
I
aujourd'hui à
am
vos côtés
to stand by your side,
et d'être depuis plus de 8 années
to have
à
been
vos têtes.
your leader for the past 8 years. Throughout these years, I have seen men and women fighting for our nation, fighting for our interests, to defend our values, sometimes paying the ultimate price, and each day ready to start again. And that is our greatest strength. Never forget that that is our greatest, most beautiful strength, the one which sets you in the footsteps of those generations who came before, thanks to whom France is a free nation through the battles they fought. So be as proud as I am of you. Long live friendship between France and the UAE. Long live the French Republic. Long live France.
That was French President Emmanuel Macron speaking from Abu Dhabi, where he is currently to celebrate Christmas with the French troops stationed there, as well as to discuss bilateral ties with the Gulf state.